Hi, and welcome to Karen's Kitchen Easy. Together with our kitchen basics, easy to follow recipes, tips, and tricks, we're going to make you the star of your kitchen. If you enjoy this video, be sure to check out my YouTube channel and look at the link below this video. It will take you to karenskitcheneasy.com where you can find a printable version of today's recipe. And just remember, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But wait, it is easy, and you can do it too. Today's recipe is easy carrot souffle. Now, there are a few more ingredients in this dish than I usually have, but it's still a very simple recipe, and it starts with 2 cans of canned carrots. Now, you can use fresh carrots if you like and peel and cook them, but I'm making this as easy as possible, so we're just going to use canned carrots. Now, I'm going to take a great little item in my kitchen called a potato masher, and we're just going to mash our carrots with this. So just press down on the carrots as you work around the bowl. And it's going to take a little bit of work, and you can actually use a food processor or a stick blender for this process if you like and make a puree, but I like some small pieces of carrot in my casserole for some texture. So we're just going to mash the larger pieces of carrots up. I'm just going to work them with the potato masher, until we get the consistency that we like, and I think we've got it just about here. Now to this, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Now to measure brown sugar, you actually scoop your brown sugar into your cup and then press it down with your hands or with a spoon. Pack it down really well, and then fill the cup the rest of the way and pack it down again. The reason we do this is because there are a lot of air holes in brown sugar because of the moisture. But then we have a very good 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and we're just going to break it up and put it in with our 2 cans of carrots. Now to this also, we're going to add 3 egg yolks. We've talked before how to separate your egg whites and egg yolks, and there they are separated. We're going to use the egg whites a little later, but the 3 egg yolks are going to go in. And then we're going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. That's going to go in there also. And then let's take a spoon and just mix this together. And once we have this pretty well mixed together, we're going to take our dry ingredients. As you can see, we've got 2 little bowls of dry ingredients over here. We have 3 tablespoons of flour. We have a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we have our wet ingredients pretty well mixed together here. And now we're going to take our dry ingredients, the flour, the salt, and the baking powder, and we're going to put them together with each other. Before we put them in, we're going to stir these together. This is so that we get the salt and the baking powder really well incorporated into the flour, so they mix well with our wet ingredients. So we're just going to carefully stir these together. And then we're going to pour these into our wet ingredients, the carrots and eggs and butter and so on. So we're just going to sprinkle this on top, and we're going to give it another good stir. So we'll just keep on going with our spoon here. And the flour is going to give it a little bit of thickening, a little bit of body. And the baking powder is actually just going to make it a little fluffier because we do want our souffle to rise. Now, once we have our dry ingredients all stirred in, we have one more ingredient to deal with. As you can see over on the side here, we have our egg whites, and we're going to whip them up. So we're going to put our egg whites into a large bowl, and we're going to beat them with a hand mixer on as high as we possibly can to get some nice stiff peaks going. And we're not going to make much noise here because I'm doing a voiceover, so you can't hear my beaters going. But we're just going to whip our egg whites as high as they can go. And then we're going to fold them very carefully into our carrot mixture. And as you may remember from some of our other videos, folding just means stirring our egg whites into another mixture in such a way that they don't collapse. The little air pockets that we have whipped into those egg whites aren't going to burst, because the egg whites are going to be another way of leavening or causing our wet ingredients to raise up. So we're just going to whip these, and this may take about 4 or 5 minutes. So just whip them until they look rather dry on the surface, and they make very high peaks that can stand up on their own when you lift the beater out. So we're just going to whip this for a little while. And here you can see the peaks are getting higher, and our egg whites look a little bit more opaque than they did before. This is from all the air that's been beaten into them and is reflecting off the surfaces. So we're just about done here. Yes, there we go. And you can see it's got some nice high peaks when we lift our beaters out. So we're going to incorporate our egg whites in 2 batches. We're going to scoop about half of our egg whites out and put them into our carrot mixture. So we'll scoop about half out and just lay it carefully on top. And then we're going to use a folding motion to fold the egg whites in. And by that, I'm going to take a scraper here and just run under my souffle mixture, and then bring the ingredients up on top, over top of the egg whites. And this is what is called folding. And we're going to keep doing this, and it's going to cause our mixture to lighten up. So you're going to see it getting a little paler orange in color. And we're just going to keep going around and around the bowl, scooping up our mixture and laying it on top in the center. And we have that pretty much incorporated. Then we're going to do the second half of our egg white mixture. Once again, putting it in and folding it over on top. And you can see that our carrot mixture has gotten a bit fluffier already. So here comes the other half of our egg white mixture. And then we're going to do the process again. Folding our ingredients over top of the egg whites, turning and folding and turning and folding. And you're going to continue doing this until you really can't see much in the way of little white flecks, which of course are the egg whites. And the egg yolks and egg whites together, when we bake our souffle, are going to make it set up very nicely like a casserole, and are also going to make it a lovely light fluffy texture. Now you should have turned your oven on to 350 degrees because that's the temperature at which we're going to bake our souffle. And when we're done folding our egg whites into our carrot mixture, we're going to put them into a greased casserole. Now you do want to grease the bottom, and by that I mean take shortening or margarine or something onto a rag, or you can use your fingers and rub them around the bottom and the sides of your pan that you're going to bake in. This is so that the pan releases your souffle nicely and you don't have a lot of sticking problems on the bottom of your casserole dish. And you're going to want to put this into a lovely casserole dish that you can bring right to the table, because you can serve this right in the casserole dish. So there we have it, our greased pan. We're simply going to pour our souffle into it and spread it out nicely. And then it's going to go into a 350 degree oven for 45 minutes. And that will cause it to set nicely. And there we have it, our beautiful carrot souffle for your next meal, and the people will think you slaved all day. So I'll see you next time on Karen's Kitchen Easy.